Hey, we just established in last segment here what you already know, that this Moreland mess here, it's a big headache for the governor, especially in an election year. And his Republican challenger, Westchester County Exec Rob Astorino, he is not missing any opportunity to get in a few jabs.
You're talking about some serious crimes that could have been committed here. Federal prosecutors are looking into this. I think also we need New York State investigation into this to see what state laws may have been broken, if it comes to the point where federal laws may not have been broken, although I do believe they are. So we're hoping that the U.S. Attorney's Office gets an opinion on this. They're on the case, and I think it's important that they expedite this because voters in New York certainly need to know whether their governor is a crook.
Governor Cuomo has called Astorino's attacks entertaining and may even be laughing off when you look at the poll numbers. These new numbers coming out courtesy of Marist, showing this week here that the governor is leading Astorino still by more than 30 points. Those poll numbers are down just slightly from last month when he had a 59 to 24% lead, 35 points, but still this thing is a rout here. At the end of the day, admit it, Rob had to think he was going to get a bigger bump than 2 or 3 points.
No, this takes time. I mean, that poll was in the field only 4 days after this story broke. This takes time to sink in. It's August. People are doing things. They're out at the beach. They're doing their summer camps and the rest of it. This is going to take time to sink in.
But if this is as big as it gets,
it doesn't wait until December.
But Astorino's never going to lead Cuomo in the polls until Election Day. Watch Cuomo's number. Watch it go 59. Watch it go 54. Watch it to go under 50. It's going to go under 50 in October.
Do you think, guys, that what would it take for this to make a material difference in the numbers?
The only thing that's going to change this is a smoking gun. If a smoking gun emerges from this, the New York Times can print whatever it wants. As the lawyer just indicated, that doesn't rise to the threshold of criminal behavior. So, and Mr. Astorino, I've said this repeatedly, nice man. I really believe that he will be governor one day, but it's not going to be this year. This is a Democratic state. The voters don't know who Mr. Astorino is. We're in the middle of the summer in a blue state. This is not going to matter. The governor's numbers only went down 5%. Now, if a smoking gun emerges, then all bets are off.
You're going to need an indictment from Bahara that shows that either Cuomo somehow ordered this or knew about it. You know, if it all falls on Larry Schwartz, let's say, and I'm already making 3 hypothetical jumps here.
That comes through the U.S. Attorney's Office of a lawmaker.
That won't happen. Okay, sorry. Go
okay, of a lawmaker, not the governor here, but somebody in the state legislature. And the implication, direct or otherwise, is, hey, this guy, he might have gotten a pass here because the commission went away. They should have been going after this guy's both guns blazing here, but he might have gotten a pass because he voted the right way in the budget.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to do his job for him, but I'm saying, though it doesn't have...
I think the time frame works against that possibly happening because you had some indictments before the Moreland Commission was established and disbanded. You had some indictments since, but you haven't had any indictments afterwards. And you're not, even if those indictments happen, they're not going to go all the way through trial and to conviction in time for this election to happen, where you can turn and say, look, this guy might have gotten off had it not been for Moreland.
And Richard, Andrew is 1,000% correct. If you look at the timetable, let's say your assessment,
the calendar's against,
right? No matter, even if you got the guy cold, his lawyer is going to stall until after the election. Cuomo will be reelected.
A really important point that was papered over before. Yes, Preet got the files of the investigations that Moreland or the Hybrid Commission was doing. Yes, he got them, but he seized them. He came in and took them. They weren't given to law enforcement when Moreland shut down. Moreland shut down and nothing was referred, and you had active criminal investigations going on. That stinks.
But that it stinks, and I agree with you that it certainly doesn't look good. But again, I don't think that factors into anything that comes through a court trial or that winds up hurting Cuomo in that process.
You know, before we're on time on this one, we played a clip here where I heard the word crook. You know I love you, but you even threw out the word extortion here. There was the Mafia reference here, that this was comparable to...
I said blackmail, but I meant extortion.
Okay, thank you, yes. Yeah, I cleaned it up for you. There is a line. I mean, is that really gubernatorial? I mean, I know why Astorino's going after this. I said jab. These are haymakers. There's a whiff of desperation. We're making a Mafia reference here. Am I right? I mean,
no.
does you regret the analogy?
Let's go through the Godfather line. What he said was that as his staff members, he has a top political aide, and his name is Joe Prococo, and he's the enforcer guy, and he's the top political aide for the governor. He was drafting suggested comments or remarks for sitting district attorneys to say that everything was great with Moreland. And what Rob suggested was that's an offer that couldn't be refused. You could say, okay, he shouldn't have done it. It's the reference. It's a common reference to say.
I'm sorry.
The people need to know whether the governor is a crook. You could say a crook. You could say it's breaking the law.
Cuomo and doing basically a horsehead analogy.
Astorino. I mean, they're all Italian.
I'm with Bill on this. I don't think Astorino's gone over the line on any of this yet. If I were advising him, I would tell him to pivot off this and let the press do the Moreland work for him. I don't think Astorino.
We want to talk about taxes.
I don't think Astorino has to score any points that way.
For argument's sake, everything he just said is true. For argument's sake,
but
prove it.
Yeah.
Prove it, and you're never going to be able to prove it. A sitting district attorney is never going to go against the governor.
My only point is maybe I'm doing this from the journalistic side a little bit, and campaigns, are not for huggies. I get that, but we don't use the word alleged at all in this. To the casual observer, it doesn't follow like the four of us do. When you hear the word crook, and you hear the word mafia, and you hear the word extortion, it is so premature to go down that road. And for me, if you want to be governor, that's a little bit reckless throwing around that language.
We put out a number of press releases trying to get interest in the fact that we thought a law was broken over not referring criminal investigations when Moreland was shut. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 press releases, videos we put out. Nothing happened.
Really quickly on this, because we're going to run out of time. I get why certain people aren't. But where are the Republicans on this?
The Republicans are complicit. The Republicans are the ones being investigated in Albany. The ones that Cuomo was investigating, or Moreland was investigating, or the hybrid, whatever it was investigating, were mostly Republican senators.
That's why I say prove it. It's
but
almost impossible for you to prove.
What I'm saying was nobody was going to report it until Astorino went out and said, I accuse him of a crime.
Astorino could stand out in the middle of the street with his underwear on. You're not going to be able to prove it. And the clock is going to run out. And Governor Cuomo knows that.
Preparer can do it.
He's the only one that can do it. And even a U.S. attorney can't do it in time for the election.
A U.S. attorney can't do the state law, which is why you need a prosecutor.
By the way, Dominic, thank you for putting that imagery out there. Really appreciate it. Okay, we're doing so well. All right, when we come next, we're going to go across the river, if you will, to New Jersey, where former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is showing Governor Christie up here in his own backyard, if you believe the numbers. That and other political news straight ahead.